Did you know that Puerto Rico has a metro line? Welcome to San Juan, the capital city of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a Caribbean island east of the Dominican Republic. With a population of over 3 million, Puerto Rico is still a territory of the United States, even though the closest point of the US is over 1,000 miles away. What does that mean? Well, all the federal laws apply, some of the federal taxes, but the voting, not so much. Where have I heard that one before? Oops, silly me, I almost had a political thought. Some commenters don't like it when we have opinions. Anyways, Puerto Rico is so much more than just politics. Besides boasting a rich biodiversity, its culture combines influences from all over the world. Popular music genres include bomba, plena, and reggaeton. And the Puerto Rican kitchen is just a mix of indigenous Taino influences, African and Latin American cuisine, mixed with some Caribbean flavors and some North American recipes. But most relevant to this video, Puerto Rico also has one metro line. It's known as the Tren Urbano, and it is a 10-mile or 17-kilometer long line that connects Sagrado Corazon station with Bayamon. We're going to ride the whole line today. Except, I'm not going to be your tour guide today. Today you'll be shown around by my brother, Bear. So yeah, we're quickly walking over. It is hot, like I said. I believe it's 91 degrees, incredibly humid. Chance of thunderstorms, of course. Yeah, it's hot. Also, the reason why you might see tape on my glasses is they broke this morning, so that also delayed the making of this video today, which is why it's so incredibly hot right now. So we should be close at this point. I see a giant Popeyes in the distance, like giant. Oh, there we go, the train. And there is the station. It is actually huge. I don't know if you can fully see it. It stretches a long way. An abandoned apartment building. And once again, Popeyes. So there I just see one of the trains next to a slightly scary mural. And I think the entrance is over there. And I see a ticket machine already. So this is Estación Sagrado Corazon, the closest to the beach and the city center. We made it to the tickets. I think it's the cheapest. Oh, and out it pops. That is a pretty cool part. There were security guards there and they did not let me film the swiping, but I think similar to the Metro card in New York, so not the best. Here we go, Sagrado Corazon. This is the platform, it's actually very long. Sagrado Corazon is the eastern terminus of Tren Urbano, and it is the station closest to Old San Juan. So over there we catch our first glimpse of one of the trains. Now that train is not in service, it's waiting on a tail track. I think it'll come back into service later in the day. But all trains on the line were built by German company Siemens, and they run either in 2-car sets or sometimes during rush hour they'll have two 2-car sets coupled together to make a 4-car set. I'll give a little bit more history of the line in a little bit. So over there you see Coliseo, which is where Bad Bunny yesterday had his first WWE fight in a long time. And the entire area was just ecstatic. There it is, the Tren Urbano. This is the interior of the train car. And there is AC. Look at that. So in the train there's a map of the line, and as you can see we started at Sagrado Corazon. The train kind of makes a wide U shape, first through San Juan and then into the neighboring cities. The line is a little over 10 miles or 17 kilometers long and has 16 stations, and on this map you can also see pictures of all 16 stations. The Tren Urbano opened in 2004, meaning that it'll celebrate its 20th anniversary this year, but planning for the line dates back to much earlier. See, in the 19th century, Puerto Rico had many railway lines and streetcars in San Juan, but like in most places in the continental United States, a lot of those railways were ripped up, or just taken out of service. In the late 1960s, the first people began to consider perhaps building a new train system, but it wasn't until 1989 that the island officially began planning this. Construction was delayed until the 1990s, and so finally, 2004, the line opened.
Stations are very close by. This is the Lynch. And before we know it, we'll be at the next station. Let's put on that timer.
Próxima parada.
That it was a little bit over 30 seconds. That's the first train we've come across going the other direction.
So there are actually two underground stations on the line. One of them is Rio Piedras and the other one is Universidad. The rest of the stations on the line are either elevated or at grade, with the majority of them being elevated.
We are actually a subway under the ground. For how long? Probably not very long. And we're back above the ground. That's just rainforest behind there. The subway really skirts past the edges of the city. So down there you see the third one, which this train operates on. The windows are extremely dirty, but so far we're just slowly making our way through the stations. It is deserted. I think the maximum number of people that have been in this train car at a singular time has been 3, including me. Here we are leaving Las Lomas. But honestly, the greatest part of this train is the scenery it goes through. It's just endless. An endless mixture of city and jungle, and it's really cool.
So you may have noticed that the trains look very empty in these videos. Well, we are filming in the middle of the day, which is when we film a lot of our videos, and so naturally ridership is a little bit lower, but it is true. The overall ridership for Tren Urbano has been quite disappointing. At first, officials predicted that by the 10th anniversary there'd be over 100,000 daily riders. In reality, right now, it hovers around the 30 to 40,000 daily riders. You can see looking at the giant stations, which are way over capacity, that they expected more riders. Which at first seems strange, because the train passes through business districts, a hospital, a university campus. Why is ridership so low? Well, there are several theories that might explain it. For starters, though 150 may seem kind of cheap to those of us used to other transit systems, for many people living in San Juan, 150 is still a relatively steep price to pay for transit. Furthermore, the train doesn't necessarily go where people want to go. A lot of stations are in the suburbs, surrounded by large parking lots. Since there are barriers for some locals to ride the train, it could have served tourists really well, except that it doesn't really go where tourists want to go either. There's no station to the airport, and there's also no service into the historic old part of San Juan. Avoiding density and avoiding places that tourists want to go, I think, are the two flaws that have kept Tren Urbano's ridership relatively low. I know that in the past there have been talks of expanding the network, but I don't think anything is officially planned right now, which is a shame because people in Puerto Rico have long considered the bus to be unreliable. With the train being a fast and reliable alternative, if it was just easier to access for more people, I think it could be very successful.
After 10.7 miles, we are nearing the final stop, Bayamon, on the Tren Urbano. And there comes the final station.
The total journey time from Sagrado Corazon to Bayamon was about 28 minutes.
We have made it to Bayamon, the end of the line. I'm very curious as to what that is. Looks like something you might find in Lisbon. As well as what this area exactly is. But do I like the Tren Urbano? Yes. Yes, I do. It's actually phenomenal. It's very clean everywhere. I don't know if you can see this. It seems to be very underutilized. It is a Sunday afternoon, so definitely come over to San Juan and check it out for yourself. So the fare is only $1.50, which makes it really cheap too. Every single station is just huge, which is fascinating. Even has an ATM. A gigantic bus station, just like at the first stop, with almost nothing, a few old signs. There's so much potential. There's just hardly anybody using it. Now we're back at Bayamon. Didn't figure out what that is. Did walk over there. Incredibly hot. Pretty sweaty. And there's our train back. Probably need a run to make it. Doesn't have a lot of color on it, other than the sticker up front and on the side. Sagrada Corazon, the next one. Here we go.
As Bear travels the half hour back to Sagrado Corazon, let me offer some of my final thoughts. So I think Tren Urbano has a lot of good qualities. It's faster and more reliable than the existing transit. It just needs to be expanded so that it can serve more people, both residents and travelers.
So there you have it. That was the Tren Urbano. Now remember, trains are awesome. I'll see you next time. Hopefully on another tropical island.
Sorry to disappoint, Bear, but the next video is going to be from a cold, windy Chicago. Maybe next time we can enjoy Puerto Rico together. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoy this video, we have a lot more content like this coming, so please subscribe to Trains Are Awesome, and we'll see you next time.